going down, everyone? And exciting news. It's beyond the news, to be exact. Sean Murry and his team at Hello Gaming has delivered yet once again with another expansion with Beyond. So what I've been rocking, which the big introduction of the update right now is 2.0, but when I got it patched in, it was 2.03 with the variant for the PlayStation, which means more than likely that they had a few patches that they did with their beta team that they have through Steam. I know I said stream, I'm streaming, but Steam, which you can actually download. You can actually go into their physical point of just seeing like what is beyond the normal patches. So you can always do that if you want, if you're a PC gamer. But we're going to be covering a lot of things like what Sean Murry had mentioned about the VR, about the whole expansion on the online, and how we're going to have more of like a Destiny feel to it. We're all walking around inside of this hub. They're going to be showing off bases. There's a whole other mystery package that he talked about. So let's go ahead and jump into the varied tidbit of what the news is. And this is going to be a long episode because No Man's Sky patches are always really decadent. So I mean, you can see instantaneously I got mine, and I was super happy to have it downloaded. It like downloaded so fast when I was streaming, it even interrupted my stream. I lost a few frames, but I'm okay with it because it's No Man's Sky. Not many games I'll say that for. But yeah, so you can hit the check the update. You should have it available now across the band. If I got it on Pacific Standard Time right around 5, that means that East Coast would have gotten it Pacific Standard Time right around 8 o'clock. And they patch those patch notes in so easily, and I have them linked down below, so if you're a quick reader, you can definitely just click that link and go right to it and just jump into it with having just the Beyond introducing the 2.0 update and the driver set that they have. And we're going to get to the patch notes. Now, as you can see, I do already have the latest situation and thing, and they conveniently tell you, hey, you can find your patch notes where I am about to take you guys and girls. So check it out. We're here. We're at the Beyond. We're just kicking it in the section of what we're going to be going towards. So a lot of the fun things that are going to be going towards the update is they massively expanded the online, where before you used to be able to play with like 4 people. Now it's going to be a base set around roughly about 32, if I remember correct. And now when you go into the actual physical, I guess, hubs that they have, it's introducibly going to just jump directly into a really cool situation of what they really want to get into the variants of what is, I guess, more of a multiplayer geared like influence. If you want to build bases with people, if you want to herd cows, they have ways that you can even like get summons now. Like, well, I call them summons, but they're basically animals that you can basically train and ride around like the Wild West. And every single time, the way that they had it before, when this game was very well introduced back in 2016 and had the promise and the glimmer between Sony and I guess the misconfusion between the media and everything being promised to us, that we were going to get something that if I went to a planet and another person went to a planet, they would be there at the same exact time. Well, guess what? This update does it. From what Sean Murry said, and when I watched the video of it from like 4 days ago, when he had posted, this was exactly what they were trying to get into. And they reworked almost every single aspect of the game for just the VR, I guess, attributes of what we're going to be getting into. And that's why, like, when I pull it back directly over here, one of the things that you'll see is there's 3 variants. Notice that. 1.03, 1.02, 1.01. 3 of the bigger portions of what basically came into the 2.0. So they basically had one layer, then a beta team test all the 3 aspects, and it going directly inside of there. But going back to where we have with our patch notes, as I jump back from popover screen to this screen over here, as we're just a hop and a skip back over, we can kind of see some of the attributes that we have right here. And the launching trailer, I can kind of just really quickly pause, just because I know there's probably going to be copyrighted music I really don't want to get involved into, but you can definitely actively click that as you go into the Beyond section of the introduction of where they have inside of their patch notes. Now let's go ahead and dive directly into it. Besides what you already have right here, they have the build bases, the expansion, the full-fledged VR, the attributes of the NPCs traveling around in like a whole new world, which is pretty cool, because now you can just basically look. Now they're going to give us a glimpse of the VR. Now, not only between Steam VR and working with Oculus sets and beyond those situations, they did a huge overhaul with the PlayStation. Like, that was one of the cooler things I really liked and enjoyed watching Sean Murray's video, was how excited that dude was and how fierce his beard is. That dude's beard is hella fierce. One thing that did make me crack up, I'm gonna pop the bubble real fast. Like, I have to say this because I was like kind of like, WTF, mate. What is his obsession with milking things? Like, he literally said that. Go watch that damn video with him talking about the Beyond update, and he was like, yeah, you can even have a machine to melt things. And I'm like, okay, I mean, it's just like, I guess that's fun, but realsies? That was your one excitement moment? But I'm not going to dwell on that. Besides that point, you can kind of see a lot of more of the funner attributes that you have right there. For the expanded multiplayer is where I, myself, am very well interested in the situation, because the community of people that saw me when I was first starting to stream were seeing me showcase this, and I kind of wanted to do this just with friends that I had that had the game. So it's like, now if you have this, you're going to be able to meet up with people. You don't have to have a group of friends. You can build bases, go on adventures, bounty hunt. You have this realistic universe that you can get into there. Now, consoles are going to be limited. It's not going to be something super huge, not until we get to the next gen. Maybe if they port over No Man's Sky later on, it might look as beautiful as computer and beyond, and have the network in order to support something that would be so simplistic as 32 players. As you can see, that 4 to 32 players is exclusively onto the PC. So if you do want to rush out and play a whole bunch of really cool friend points, and unfortunately you're not going to get that with consoles, but that's pretty much across the boards. So you can kind of see right there where they have the circle where everyone's meeting, you know, because that's how the hot rods go nowadays, and everything really cool like that. But I'm loving like the more of the pixel art that they're trying to get down to, like where you can kind of see the gateways and how those are going to be coming. I'm more excited to see what the actual physical hub is going to look like as they kind of get into the station. That was really cool because it was supposed to be showcased with no lag, entertaining the idea that you can go inside of the port and see people instantaneously going inside there. But on one of the coolest thing is you're going to want to team up with people or just be your beast and build a base, because they're going to be showcasing these things inside the hub with everyone looking around, that you can see what's inside the universe. So not only is this a everyone's sky now, it's basically graduated past No Man's Sky. It's everyone's sky. It has finally become the full purpose damn game that we all wanted to see for like 3 years ago, almost 2 years ago now, and the full fledged of updates, because they almost neglected it for about a year. And I've been playing it since day one, so this shit was hardcore to get to this day. And a lot of good players that I've seen like pwn the crap out of it. I mean, like, and just give me a lot of good information. So like, cheers to everyone that's like been a part of this rocky road of like Galaxy patches. From next to beyond, here we are. But the best of the times to start a new journey. The mission tutorial is significantly revised. The early games have been streamlined to focus better on teaching the players new mechanics and the particle VR. Now, I'm gonna pause and say something really fast on the real talk. If you've been with the network and you've definitely played No Man's Sky, you know that they always have a damn issue with the legacy saves. I'm really hoping that they spend a lot of quality time for people that have had all these things without it just like tearing the game apart again in order to restructure, because every single time they did a plateau one between next and another like serious thing, it always had a hard time. So like, if you're gonna have issues with this, make a backup save. I would instantaneously say, make a backup save that into the background, and just in case something goes awry, you have something you can fall into. So besides that situation, besides me putting that snippet, because I know things might come awry with that, and again, probably hit up No Man's Sky. It's going to be a lot of updates. I can almost guarantee it's going to be a streamline of them for a good second while they patch over stuff to make it work and function, because they did a lot of hard work inside of this. So the mission tutorials are there. The new story content has been added with the weaves of the existence strand and the Atlas path. And like, so it's basically, they've rehauled it all over again, making it like a situationable point. Now you're probably gonna have to learn new element mixes again. They love to do that, where it's like, I feel like every single time I log back on, it's a brand new game, and I feel like they do that for like old time players that are just like really been dedicated to the situation, where they're just like, hey, you know what, I really did want to actually physically play this, but I give it like a different like spin-off. So that's kind of cool. Now, the substance and crafts and the products and the new technologies and the other crucible points of what are automatically added to a new category when first encountering a rework. And let me see if I can't zoom this in real fast so everyone can kind of see a little bit more of what I'm seeing, get a better view. So you can kind of see what's going on right here with this whole loadout, what they have, where just the GOD site and how the advance point of the pin. Now they're showing us instantaneously for as far as a actual PC, but you can kind of get the step for step for tutorial a little bit more into like the closer up. Now I'm going to zoom out just so we can kind of get more of the bigger picture here inside of this really cool shot. Now this was another cool point. You can tame animals now. I thought that was really cool. I saw like in the Sean Murray video, they had like these really weird, like spaghetti looking monster crabs, like looking like Mr. Krabs evolved into some weird ass Eevee evolution that should have never been. But that's besides the point. Seriously, always keep Eevee evolutions cool. Pokemon's did good so far. Please don't give us a crappy. Anyways, I'm not trying to give them ideas either. Nintendo, don't get any bad ideas. So, the portion of what you can get into the ambient encounters with the other explorers are now represented between new NPCs, which are fully characterable mods that are walking around, allowing players to see each other. And this is also going to go into the real people being at the same spot at the same time mode, exactly what you want to have. So if you want to play with your friends or just meet someone random, now you can do that. Or you can do the Wild Wild West where, obviously stuff goes down, but I'm sure there's going to be gangs of people. Now, with the use of the voice and the networking interface into the groups with the explorers and you encounter, the PCs can expand the chat and the interface and the control options and manage the community source, which is pretty cool. Now, since a lot of this is just like background, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so like the finer detail can be seen on the screen. I know a lot of people that do watch on like tablet portion and probably like a mobile playback would probably appreciate that since they can actually see what I'm actually doing. Besides just reading, if you're reading a lot faster. And again, it is patched inside of this, so if you want to go directly to those patch notes, you can. I appreciate you spending your time with me in the network. So as we go into the portion of what we have in the new social hub, which for me was probably one of the more highlighted points of like what was going on, but we haven't got even to the mystery portion. There's a big ass mystery portion of what's going on here, at least I hope. The space anomalies have been transferred into an all-new social hub. So now space anomalies, it's popping. It's like a club 41 going on till it hits the sun, But that's besides the point. Let's like sum this up as this goes into this unique communal space exists across all systems and all galaxies, giving us all the explorers and opportunities to see each other's and characters, ships, and basically meet new friends, undertake new missions, be a beast. And I already see the NMS community that I love to come to see pouring into the M7 community, which if you're new to the MacGyver 7th channel, cheers. And if you're existing, double cheers. But as we get past that and undertaking missions and we see like this really cool captionable art, it makes me really think of Cyberpunk, which by the way, how many people, show of likes or comments if down below, I guess in this situation, have seen the Cyberpunk rebuild? I haven't even seen it, but I could probably try to Google it later on. Hold on, I wonder if I could just do that right now. Let's see here. NMS. Oh, I totally holy butched that. No! Oh, this is definitely not the one. I'll have to find it later on. For right now, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the news. That was just, I know there's a Cyberpunk one that exists that's super boss and super cool. I was like nerding out about it this morning when I was reading it. So this is what I was talking about where I'm highlighting my mouse, and let me zoom in real fast so you guys and gals can kind of see what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, I zoomed in way too hard. Right here where my mouse is, this is going to be where they are going to showcase a little bit more of the solar systems and the bases from what they were saying. And when you enter in, you should be able to see the whole community of people as you kind of go into these situations. So the space anomalies and the powerful teleporters and allowing the explorers to easily browse and visit other bases, like I just basically kind of summed up into this really cool situation. Teleporters will now feature the expansionable bases and created by members in No Man's Sky community, bringing the visitors to across these stars to see the bases in the universes. So that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, like for as far as like this looking at the terminal portion of what we got inside of there, they did a really great job. Now I need to turn my PlayStation remote back on so it doesn't go all dead because it just beeped at me. But besides that point, you can kind of see the most recent, and they're giving us more of like a really cool pixel thumbnail layout. I like that a lot better than trying to memorize a whole bunch of shit. This helps me if I'm ever trying to rebuild my Mount Sean Murry. That's right. I was building a Mount Sean Murry, and then it just got so unstable in like the 1.5 era of base building. But that's another cool thing that we're getting into. Well, besides the explorers that have encountered the anomalies that it can be summoned into space, which is pretty cool, now you can also, in a situation, you have an expanded base building. So not only did we get new update to this, we can expand our bases beyond. Because they are basically probably taking into the way that No Man's Sky that I anticipated the way it was supposed to be back in 2016 was a whole bunch of nerds getting together and creating these universes like a little big planet but it was like the more mature. It was the really big planet, but it was the little big universe. You know what I mean? So like that's what I kind of saw it as. The multiplayer missions are now insulated into the Nexus and located aboard the Space Anomaly, and a large unique missions is currently available, introducing a new style of missions and base construction. And that's what I had mentioned before, because what they're trying to introduce inside of this is, say for instance, you don't know a lot of people, or you just love this game and you want to meet a lot of people. Now you can go there and work cooperatively with someone and help them either build and start a base and start their journey on No Man's Sky, or build a collective with people, or start making like a themed setting together with people. This is what they're trying to introduce, is like the whole community aspect. And that was probably what Sean Murray, when I was watching that video, was so giddy about. You could see like in his eyes, he was like, I love that everyone's getting together and playing the game. It was pretty cool. So the group with the explorers and the random encounters now take under the missions to Nada and Polo. Yet again, now are earning rewards in another aspect. They're actually doing work this time. They ain't doing nada no more. But as we get past that point, as we get into a really quick patch point of like the Nexus and what they have, a really cool overlay, which is really selectable, and you have like more intertwinable points. I'm loving that they have the Nexus rewards will be included with this Quicksilver to unlock special circumstances and building parts for Polo's robotic companion. What? There's a robotic companion? That is so tight. I didn't notice one of my keyboards was just like sticking out there. I was always wondering what the hell that was. Anyway, so besides the robotic companion, now we have technology trees. So we can have really cool stuff with the blueprints that we would have inside of there. So our visuals through the unlockable technology trees, learning new craftable recipes. Oh, so I thought trees isn't like physical robotic trees, like something from Dr. Robotnik's planet. He's basically implementing with his team, and by he I mean Sean Murray, is like the whole portion in Hello Gaming, as the team that I'm talking about is crafting a recipe, as in like you can kind of like do this, so it's a flow chart. That is so much better. Oh my gosh, why didn't they think about this from ground one? This is so good. If you haven't started downloading this, you totally should. And if you haven't bought this damn game and you've thought about buying it, definitely is time to buy it. Super cheap, and they poured probably more than, I'd want to say, about $150 worth of content that you would probably get in a normal COD game for like them like jerking you around for centuries, unfortunately, with that AAA. So they did a really great job. Visit the technology specialists aboard the Space Anomalies to purchase the Enchanted and Exosuit starships and the multi-tools and the exocraft technology. And as you can see, more of the alien crafts and the varieties, that's pretty cool. Looks like very alien-esque. Almost looks like he's a squid monster cheetah. I don't know. Looks like he'd try to sell me Cheetos. But as we get past Space Cheetos, of course, I'm not going to have someone spam comment be like, there's no such thing as Space Cheetos. There is now. I'm coining it. Space Cheetos. Anyways. Unlock the freighter and the frigate's technology from the freighter bridge. Learn the products and the recipes and the tree. So it seems like they follow the same thing for a lot of the actual physical equipment of getting inside of there. There's a really cool cameo portion of it. Let me zoom out just a tiny bit just to make sure you guys and gals can kind of see like the full magnitude of how cool these like actual pictures do look like as they're like magnetized. So gameplay balance. One of the bigger portions of what they got into the enjoyable stretches of the unique mining portions, bring this up real fast, is uninterrupted mining with less frequencies, less aggressive sentinels, and a reworked overheat mechanics for the mining beam to reward pushing the heat limit. So now we have basically what in most games when you overdo it, like what the Killzone, I think, is one of those games that does that, where it's like you go all the way to the top and you hit it, and then you have one chance. Also, I think Borderlands is too. You can click it on one thing and you're rewarded for actually spamming the crap out of it. So that is really cool. I actually like that function. I'm super excited to kind of get into that, and I probably will be streaming No Man's Sky later on tonight if I have enough energy, because I'm running on fumes the last few days. But I'm gonna try to do that, and I'm gonna be attending the Silicon Valley Con now. Fun situation for me, but that's besides the point. We're on patch notes and an update and a driver, and we need to keep focused. So the inventory is limited, with having been relaxed, allowing the explorers to carry nearly unlimited quantities of mined substances. Oh, that's so much cooler. I like that. It wasn't like a Fallout game where you're just like, dude, I'm over encumbered, this sucks. Besides that situation of the relaxation, they also have the ship controls, which is the space combat balance, which has been improved. A large number of quality lives to issue have been addressed, new recipes, technologies, and a lot more situations of what they've grinded out and like more of a dialed in. There we go. That looks a lot better. So everyone can kind of like read along in the situation. Examples include large specialist, warp cells, being moved and installed in technologies, being able to install technologies in stages, simultaneously or similar repairs, and adding additional ramps, space stations, adding mining beams, upgrades, increasing resources gained, adding starship technologies. They automatically recharge the launches and the thrusters on the restore carbon. Oh my gosh, dude, that is like looking beautiful. They really did a great job with this game. Now, besides that, the discoveries, I like the way that they've laid out the actual solar system. That's way more easy and fluid for me as a gamer in order to see it. It looks more professional as a game, and I like what they've just done there. The discovery page has now been overhauled with an expand. Oh my gosh, hold on real fast. Technical difficulties. I don't know why. My mouse decided to go jumping. That was hilarious. Anyways, so besides that situation, and besides my mechanical error, what I'm getting in the discovery page, which has been overhauled, is the expansion and more initiative at the interface to display the alien flora and all the other minerals that we've greatly desired in order to make our situations come to life. Now, if you're just joining for the first time when this actually uploads, you can hit a subscription and go right back to it, or just hit the like and come back to it and watch the very beginning of this, or go to the description down below and you can basically check out what's on the actual page too as well if you've missed anything. But besides that, let's go ahead and continue to go down with the planetary charters being the next situation that we're going to follow up onto. Specifically, buildings are now located via the system in the planetary charter purchased from the space station. Oh, that's really cool. Look at that little map thing on the side. That's really cool. Purchase charts are for the basic nanites, and the exchange for your own navigation data for new charters. Earn data by chartering and building you discover as you explore. So the more you explore, the more fun you're gonna have inside that situation. The galactic map. Now this is another interesting situation that I wanted to get into, because they had talked about updating the actual physical galactic map in a situation that we ourselves were wondering what was gonna physically happen. So besides that situation, and I'm gonna go ahead and get down to this portion so I can kind of hide out here so we can actually physically see the galactic map in its almost entirety. So besides that situation and what we can kind of get down to here, we can kind of see what was going on in the physical portion of, hey, well, I can always zoom into a little bit because I want to see a little bit more of this map myself because there's so many pixels and stars. Besides that, on the PC mouse-based navigations, the maps have been improved. Doesn't seem like it's physically said that yet for consoles. That might be something that comes in later on down the road, but for PC, for sure, you definitely have that increased portion. Now, I think they might have snuck it in, maybe it might be, but on the PC, the mouse-based navigation basically has been improved. I would assume that's basically what they mean, not necessarily that we as consolites don't have access to it. It just means there's a luxury to the PC, as it would normally always be. The information on the galaxies is more consistently displayed with clearer text, icons, and navigations. The virtual reality user interface. So a lot of people that have been waiting for this, now the HUD and the interface has been completely remade in virtual reality to ensure every interaction available in the game feels natural and built in a purpose. Slip directly into an exosuit, and you can basically manipulate, manage, inventory, direct the 2D menu, such as the shop and rendering on the work in the world. Basically, they made you interfaceably jump into the world, and that's cool. I'm definitely digging that they did a lot of work. There goes our like space station, and everyone just kicking it now. So it's definitely more like a Destiny hub feel to it, which is pretty cool. New traveler NPCs. This is what I talked about earlier, but with the specialist Polo and the Nada crew welcomes two new traveler friends aboard their home. 12 new, should I say, not just 2 new, 12 new aboard their new home. Each has their own role to play. And wow, Ancient Dreamer, holy crap, that's insane. Oh my goodness. And I like that they have bird people now. That's so freaking cool. Didn't expect that. And the whole alien clear brain looks like freaking Mars attack. They did such a good job. And there's so much more to come. Return to the travelers each day to experience a range of interactions and missions. So now it's kind of the place you want to be at and kind of go to, which is kind of cool. Besides that, the new alien encounters. Now, this is what you're going to kind of try to dial in past this portion. It was just more dialogues are available from the alien NPC encounters to the planetary facilities, featuring mini stories and new missions. All existing aliens and NPCs dialogues have been revised and enhanced, so you're going to get a whole new experience with this. And animation has been improved, with the aliens exhibiting more approachable moods and starting conversations. The dialogue box has been improved, more clearly and distinguishable between text and dialogue. Dramatic NPCs. Aliens and NPCs will now walk around. Like I had mentioned in the very beginning of this is basically a summary of what I had basically gotten, and also now rich with an actual NPC point on this actual space station. So when we get down to the NPC response and gesture explorers, you can kind of expand past that, and you can kind of see a little bit more of the some NPCs in the encounter in the planetary surface have a unique set of dialogue. So keep your eyes peeled as you're out there inside of there finding people and just finding NPCs. This world has finally come to life. The alien languages now have learned and enhanced, more giving explorers the choice of what categories of word to learn. New auto translation tech is available for the exosuit and the translation of small number of unknown words. More than 700 new alien words have been added to the dictionary, with a very similar word variations, such as plurals are now learned together in groups. Created creatures and finding the mounts of basically what you want to get down to. Taming creatures with bait and mountain ride them to explore the planet in a new perspective. So if you were doing VR, this would be kind of one of those great situations to have a new aspect of playing the game. And I like that. This was the video I was watching with Sean Murry when he was talking about milking the damn creatures, and they were just writing in the background. I was like, this is just wrong, but this is hilarious. Why did he say that? And seriously, watch the damn interview. You'll laugh when you actually see him say that. And there's the milk. There's the freaking milk. Dum dum dum. He even put it inside the damn patch notes. Tame the creatures may also be a peaceful harvest. So you can also make like basically your harvest moon. You can turn NMS into like a galactic harvest moon, bro. And broettes that play this video game. The creatures may also be peaceful and harvest and cooking ingredients such as milk, eggs, and edible thrusters. I don't know what the hell that is, but I don't know what I want to know what that is. You're just like throwing stuff at him now. Like, yay! Milk machine. So cooking and recipes. Now you can also be your space little Ramsay. Encountering new varieties of harvestable floras on every planet and surfaces. So you got your green beans, you got your hot peppers, and you got your oysters. I would assume that's basically what it is. And they have a really nice layout. They even have cakes and other designs that basically you can get into. They've done a great job with the harvest and cooking ingredients for the plants and the creatures, and the basically has expanded past that portion of 300 delicious recipes. So bon appetit, everyone. Eat at your heart's content. So create baits and tame creatures. That's going to be a situation that you want to hit on the actual physical list of awesomeness. Consume your career. Sorry, let me just like do this like picture. I want to get it into there because it actually looks really cool. Because it almost looks like some kind of like that drag. It almost looks like a dragon, but I was wrong. It was just a really cool design. Consume your creations for the boost to all the exosuits and the present them to the to the anomaly. Potential rewards. Wow. Okay, so this is a very interesting situation. So they've made the whole convenience of throwing stuff back and forth. So they consume your creations for the boosts or to your exosuits or the presets, and you can just basically toss stuff around. I like the reward system that they basically have integrated into this. The base power system. Now, this is going to be very nuclear of a situation to understand. I didn't know that they were going to go this far to actually have this cool of a situation. So the planetary base now can be powered by fuel in the biogenerators or a self sustainable solar panel. I'm gonna go solar panel myself, unless there was like some kind of relapse between like acidy planets that just eroded it, which would kind of make sense if they did that. And also that makes sense because what if you were raiding someone's base and you cut their power right before? Shit's gotten so much crazy. But you can wire and parts in a, oh my gosh, you can literally make a whole town come to life. This is like Fallout now. The wired up powered plants in the grids on 5 varieties of logical switches to direct the flow of power. Create brilliant lights and sound displays. That's really cool. Check that out. Man, this game just got so much cooler, man. There's gonna be so much like fan art that comes out nowadays. I like the sensor. So basically you can make a short time range teleporter involving it. There's like sensors that go inside there or complex portions of it with brilliant lights and sounds. You know, Hello Gaming, cheers. You know what? From the bottom of my heart, seriously, you guys never gave up, and I appreciate that. And there are videos of like, I think Sean Murry out there crying, unfortunately, because like they got bashed in the very beginning of this because they got promised too much too soon. But they made true. And that's why I stuck with the game, because I saw what it was and it was really great for what it was. So the optimization on the game has been heavily optimized throughout the improving of the performance, and the areas of the universe in particular players and low-level NPCs will now significantly frame rate improvements. The game is now supporting an integrated Intel graphics card. It supports? Oh, that's cool. I think that's it's pretty progressive right there. Integrative. All right, so the planetary portion of the freighter bases now have been multiple levels of details, the LODs, and to increase the rendering speed in the large complex bases. Dude, wow, they're really kind of going out. And the shaders are now loaded in a required rather than upfront, reducing the game initiative load time because it used to be pretty bad. So this means everything's going to be streamlined. They're doing a great job with making it easy for us to play this game. The improved base building to experience the base of the improvement with the new camera perspective and the jetpack, while visual hints and possibilities and shapes form around you as you get into there. The Explorer expands their new creativity even farther in a large range of new base parts, as well as taking advantage of a new flexible way to scale and rotate the base parts. Now that's kind of cool. So you can really kind of tailor what size and what grand spectacular portion. So they've made it really great. So no wonder they had to expand the portion of us getting more base components, because they gave us a whole new world. It'd be great if you can make a whole world like that, but I feel like you'd break the damn game unless you had like some kind of supercomputer, or they had a supercomputer to handle that. They'd need about 5 Threadrippers. Yep. That's about like, you know, too many cores to count. Don't have enough appendages. Anyways. You can see the array of cool things that they have on top of this list and more that they will continuously add. Build menus. Usable, has improvements and way better catalogs. The more initiative groupings of parts and more visible the menu. So the industrial base building. Survey planetary surfaces for hidden deep level mineral deposits. That's actually kind of like real life, which is kind of cool. So you can actually like tap into stuff. Look at the grid on that, the power grid right there. This is really like a revolutionized looking like No Man's Sky. But let's not skip over too much besides what we can do. The mineral deposits can concentrate glass clouds, an electromagnetic hotspot, which probably would give you electricity if you tapped into that, I would assume. I'm hoping. If not, No Man's Sky, if you ever watch this, that would be kind of something pretty cool to do. Because that would make sense. You could probably manipulate that if you did it right. Anyways, do some Nikola Tesla stuff, trust me. It'll work. Construct the specialist entered. Sorry, I'm laughing. Science gestures. industrial base parts in this surveyed location to take advantage of the hidden resources. So you are going to have to make the special parts in order to physically make this, and they made it really easy in order for the players to learn how to make these. And these are going to be your main tools in order to harvest these. And to the minimalized downtime, the optimization of the autonomous resource extractions by constructing supply deeps and batteries and the industrial bus parts will continue to harvest in real time even when your game is not running. That was an issue in the past updates where people would farm stuff and they were looking at it as an exploit and they went to it, but it made sense because if you built the thing and it's 24/7 now, it would totally make sense that you would need those things. So I like that for most people just joining, and I freaking like that a lot. They just keep giving back. Now the space starship enhancements, all starship cockpits have now been overhauled with the complete remodel, the retexturing, the wings to the nose, to the starships, to the inside of the starships. And as you can see, the before and after what they're trying to get to. So this is what I'm used to in this situation, and this is what we're gonna get. You can see the contrast difference. It looks way more cleaner. It actually looks like VR friendly. Like if I was like gonna set something out to kind of dry something, I actually might even do that. I actually have a setup I've never even set up just for No Man's Sky, but who knows, maybe I'll get into it. I need to do the unboxing of it first though. But if you see an unboxing coming of me doing some like paddles and movement stuff for a PlayStation integration, you know it's here. The scales of the space has also been included with the greater detail. So they're basically beefing it up just for the people that are playing VR, and I like that because that gave us more of a realism. It kind of makes me want to rush out and grab like a VR set just to kind of do that, but I gotta sit and wait. I kind of want to wait. The scales of that and the great details. So let's go ahead and look at what we had of. This is today, and that is yesterday. So grand detail portions, even though it's like zoomed out, you can see even the environmental looking just a tad bit better, but mainly the ships and the projectiles of what are inside there. The details, looks like that thing's got a V20 right there. Thing's definitely got a Hemi. Sean Murray wouldn't drive anything less than a Hemi. You know, he'd pollute the solar system. It's bad. They need to warm up a little bit. But you can see right here as you're going inside of there, all hilarity aside, as we go back into the virtual reality user interface with the complete headset and tracks, the interaction of the virtual reality makes No Man's Sky more initiative and tackles and immerse than ever. That is what they're basically going down to, which is pretty cool. And as you can see right here, you kind of have more of the setup of what you can kind of get into. So they're going to have more of the physical and the upholsters, the multi-tools, more laid out, more user-friendly for the shoulders. You can aim and fire and engage into combat, use your fists. Melee was hinted that we may possibly get inside of there. You can tap the button on your head to toggle the analyst visor to point towards the materials that you want, scan, discover, lift the starship directly into the portion, reach out, grab controls. They made it basically like real life, and that's pretty freaking cool. Good job, No Man's Sky. The first person exocraft driving. The exocraft now can be driven from the first person perspective with all new unique tackles, cockpits, and 5 new vehicles, or excuse me, from all 5 new vehicles, or new vehicles as a new patch vehicle. They probably overlaid it again. It's still the same thing, but 5. But virtual reality control support. A range of motion controls are now supported in the virtual reality to allow the player to enjoy their existing VR setup. On PC, the players can exist a range of motions and controls from the Oculus to the Volt Index to the Vine Wand. On PlayStation 4, the players may experience between the PSVR with the DualShock controller or the PlayStation Move in the fully portion of it. Now, I don't know if they have anything for the virtual reality of Xbox One, but I guess if you were doing that, you'd already be on PC anyways for as far as that. How many gigs was the update? It roughly took my system when this catches up, like, I don't see how much it was, but it took my system during the portion of me patching over the Star Wars Battlefront patch that I just did before this was probably roughly about, I want to say probably about 4 to 5 gigs. It wasn't long. It literally took under 2 minutes, and I was streaming in 4K during the point, so I would assume it wasn't super huge. But I need to check that anyways. Hopefully they kind of mention that down below. But I would start downloading it right now. It's a really great update so far, looking at it. So Vulcan. That's great. That's your AMD situation right there. On PC, OpenGL has now been replaced with the Vulkan API. That's how they got the FPS improvement. I'm sorry, I cover AMD patch notes, and I freaking like love that they freaking utilize the Vulkan point, and that means that this game's gonna insanely get better. Oh, Navi, show me what you can do with this game now. Anyways, I'm a tech nerd for most people that are just joining in for the first time. I do a lot. I'm a renaissance man of tech. But improving the performance across the boards, and especially for the users on the AMD cards, just like I said below. I knew it the minute I said Vulkan, I was like, I already know. And the older CPUs. That means Zen technology just got a hell of a lot better with the running points. But Vulkan usually is on their GPUs. So once they get to the APUs, then we'll finally see some improvements. The PC graphics options. The PC players now can have a perfect game in the graphics options for the unique setup and the finer controls of the graphics and the validity of the performance. And then, damn, 9 gigs. Thanks everyone for queuing in right there. Yeah, that would actually make sense because I have like a really fast download. I have like about a gigabyte speed of download, so it just like is pretty much done, unless it's like almost like 50 or 100, then it actually takes like 20 or 30 minutes for me. But thanks everyone for keying into that. I appreciate that without me having to look up with that. And welcome everyone that has joined, everyone new and community members that have been returning. Looking at this portion in the travels and the graphics and the options, you can definitely increase a lot more the texture rate. So if you really want to get that pixel perfect point where you want to showcase something off in Reddit, you can really get the visual effects if you have the computer that can handle it. So this is basically PC integration, and maybe I might need to get it finally on PC since I have a Threadripper with an RTX card, Titan series. So who knows, maybe they might do some like ray tracing on this game eventually, or someone will get smart and do a ray tracing mod on this and it'll look freaking amazing. They're like, we'll weep pixels. I will weep pixels. I haven't played it in ages. Deleted it on my PS4. Totally understand. Like a lot of people hopped out of it, like in the very beginning of it. But the many video graphic options, that the resolutions and the V-Syncs and the window mode can now be alerted without resetting this game, which is really convenient if you want to kind of test things without having to reboot it. Players now with multiple GPUs can now select the use. Wait, what? Hold on. Did they add a physics engine? No, hold on. I think I might be getting a little too excited. Can now select which they want to use for video optimization menu. So basically, if you're streaming and you want to use one for an encoder and you want to have one dedicated just for what you're doing, then you're probably more than likely going to be able to, or get a video option maybe, or as far as what you can use for them. But that would be cool if they ever integrated more of something for physics. Expanding the control support on PC, the complete setup of what they got in the assignments are now controlled in the input and the remapping through stream to the OpenVR. Any generic controls, including the design and the physics accessibilities, now and natively inbound to the game. Controls without the need of third-party remapping software. So this is basically if you're integrating with an actual physical VR situation, as the mumbo jumbo kind of goes into the situation. Now, official binding settings are provided for the DualShock 4, the Xbox One, 360, and the Steam controller for most of you that have a Steam box or Steam machine. Remember they kind of came out for as far as situation. Oh, that's not too bad, man. That's actually a really good connection. And cheers for joining, Blake, and that information on there. And then please note the existing custom buildings will need to be updated after updating to the Beyond. So you're gonna have to kind of mess with it a little bit. Please note any existing custom buildings will be needed updated. Okay, well there you go. The chairs now can be set up. That's kind of cool. And now let's get to our physical portion of what they physically dropped in for patch notes. So No Man's Sky, obviously we've gone past this. They've crossed past with the graphics and the performance. We've gotten Vulkan inside of there. Significantly optimized the asteroids and the generations, planetary, improved loading. They did 2D rendering. Pretty much a lot of this we've kind of covered. I'm looking for the stuff that they didn't, like the load shaders that didn't really pop into their many graphic settings and no longer require the restart to reapply. The revised HDR, they didn't talk about that. An update into the portion of the curve. Now it's an advanced in-house game. That's so good because I remember when I ran this game the first time in HDR, it looked so funky. I had to play with the palette to stream it just to make it look normal. I was like, what the frizzle? I literally had to save a No Man's Scream like HDR setting on my OBS, like just for its own filter. It was crazy. Um, Good job, Hello Games. You freaking killing it. Super killing it. An adaptable triple buffed VSync, which in the graphics situation, optimization of the animation of the lotting. I love that, lotting. So they have cloud terrain. So basically they made everything. The reduce of memory usage in the game generalization. So now you're not going to have it crashing as much because it's not going to be using like the RAM is tough on there. Controls and the options, adding support of the full rebinding of the PC controls of the VR. And again, I'm trying to skim read this because a lot of them is like what we read before, but they're just trying to like fill in the basic patches of what's going down. I'm looking for like fixes too, mainly. And if anything, what I can do too is I can always zoom in a little bit more for most people, and it is linked in the description if you wanted to get more of like the play for play or look for something that was very specific for your situation. You can definitely look into it. But let's go ahead and see what they see. Added the NPC Space Anomaly will exchange different products and nanites each day. On top of that, they will also exchange milestone progressions and exchange category and the discovery. We went over the new storyline for Nada and Polo. They reworked the tutorial for the flow missions, new save icons and multiplayer highlights, and the situation would have been improved, as well as the player graves in the multiplayer game will reset to the current player system when returning to a single player. So they'll make sure that you don't lose a lot of your stuff in the situationable point. They're adding an ability to display a custom play banner and adjust the appearance modifier. And then the multiplayer missions now warp players directly to the missions and the locations, the new Space Anomaly. So I mean, this seems like it's way more like tailored towards a lot of more newer things versus the one above where it was just kind of filtering a lot of what was already there. Let's see here. Do you know if they fixed the duping? I'm not quite sure. We haven't gotten down to it quite yet, but let's see. User interface. Adding technology trees, we know that. Adding the technology to the base parts, the research to the Space Anomaly, adding players to browse full tech of the trees. Very cool. To tweak the HUD. Some of the HUDs now can be shrinked in visuals, adjusting the behavior and the compass. Let's see here, advanced UI. Let's see here, they added the warning for the swap and the starship, for the cargo, for the old ships. New improvement for as far as what they go into the inventory pages, changing the text scroll, reduce the amount of bloom in the case of the cause of the photosynthesis issue, refinery output reading now correctly updated now when more resources are added into the input slot, improved to the visuals and the styles, the clarity of the bind self filters. They've done improved icons used to display to the class of the ship and the multiplayer and the purchasing of items. The updated summon vehicles and the icon for the quick menu. Let's see here. The icons in the summon ship collection of the new accuracy reflect that of the appearance of the ship. Updated the visuals inside the cockpit. We know that one. Significantly improved the chat box and the ability in the group thing, which I remember, if I remember correct, was tailored for PC. And then the improved portion of what they got. Now, I'm not seeing anything like what you had mentioned directly, the overhaul on that. And let's keep going down because I think there might just be a direct situation. NPCs walk around, their chairs, the improvement cameras. Let's see here, they will respond to gestures, the occasional browse of the holographs. So they basically brought them to life. I'm going to kind of skim over this one a little bit because I don't see something that would be super useful. Because I'm looking for like the broken fixes, because this is the tail end where I know No Man's Sky usually pushes a lot of like, oh, by the way, this is what we fixed everything that was broken. But if you definitely want to see what I'm doing, I'll just scroll it down slow so you can always, like, if you want to come back or pause directly into this, you can kind of see it. Let's see, where is it? Buildings. Kind of pause there for a split second. A lot of that was talking about how they added, they reworked the whole situation with the way it goes, night cycles, way they improved the visual points, as well as the solar reactor, the biofields, the breakers, which can go up to 5, as well as tapping into resources that are down below and making the magnification of those situations. Now, there is a decadent list of a lot of stuff that's directly on top of here. We're down to the adding of the short range teleporters, to the situation of having the add of the several new roof pieces. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff. This is what I'm looking for. Bug fixes. Cool, we made it. Okay, so this is what I'm going to read out, because like I know this is for a lot of people are probably staying tuned, which is part of the patch work, and we're already almost about 50 minutes into this damn patch, which I'm going to have to end pretty soon myself. So they increasing the tolerance of the trade ships participating in the freighter battles, so they do not report friendly fire as a crime unless, oh my gosh, you have no clue how many fights I got into with the Galactic Police because of that. I was an outlaw, son and ladies. So fix an issue where the Sentinel drones would become stuck in the scanning a player who is entering or exiting their ship. Yeah, I've had that happen before. Let's see here. I just loaded No Man's Skies and there's no mini patch on the screen. Just a few details. Yeah, they kept it really basic. Sean Murray really wanted everyone to look at their page. I don't know. He mentioned that in the video. He's like, everyone could check out our patch note page. And I was like, oh, I guess they're trying to push that now. But that's why I do this, because it's like I figure a lot of people searching for it and just wondering, like they can go, hey, I can just watch this and listen along real fast, because there's a lot of crap, man, to read through. There really is. So cheers everyone that's joining this new, and community members that have been staying true for this whole like hour impact patch note. This is the longest patch note I've ever done in my life. It's cool. It's been a lot of fun. Besides that, which we got down to the Sentinel, which the entering and exiting, it fixed an issue with the third person player mode would, or model, would never look directly at the camera. Fixed an issue with the star, or basically the ship rain audio was being played when it was not raining. I've had that issue before. Added the creature sounds to the weird portion of the BIMO creatures. Cool. So they've improved a lot of sound effects. That's awesome. Let's see here. Fix the multiplayer, or not the multiplayer, the multi-tool animation glitch. I've been talking for almost an hour. I'm getting tongue-tied over my own damn words. In the animation glitches when firing the mining beams from the sheltered in the first person mode, or the sheeted in the first person. So basically when you're in that first person mode, that's probably when you're going to end up getting a lot of this crap, which isn't. That's true, and that's why I do this too, Mr. Jacob, is I know a lot of people are trying to just be like, what is in this and what can I maximize in time? Because let's be real here, time is the best economy in this world and we all run out of it really fast. So multitasking on the go is the new now. So that's why I love doing this kind of stuff, because I get to meet a whole bunch of new people and help other people that are on the go. So they fixed the starship, which I apparently ran into, and I'll go right up here. I missed one right in between, right after I get the starship. Can appear and float above the train if the player is spawned at the longest distance from the ship. It's kind of cool. Change the numeric separators that can be corrected format. Change the Asian numeric separators that can be formatted. I'm assuming that has something to do with the dialect integration or what they have inside of there for the multi-languages overseas. Otherwise, I have no clue what they're referencing directly on there. But fix a number of item duplicate exploits. Damn it. Why'd you have to do that, guys? That was part of your big fix? Was that the mystery, Sean Murray? We took away the exploits. Thanks, man. I love those exploits. Everyone learned them. Trust me, someone will figure it out. I give it 7 days before someone figures out a new exploit, if not sooner. Fix the number of the exploits for now, but for later they're going to be bigger. Fix the starship HUD and the reading of the moon unknown planets when the planet is known, and the mining beam now is correctly colored when upgraded with the upgrade module. Fix an issue where the wrong impact particles were sometimes used in the shooting sentinels in the quadrupes. I might be horribly butchering that with that pronunciation of that. And then the miscellaneous text fixes. And then we have right here, which is the discoveries and explorations of what the overhauls and the visualizations of what they basically fixed directly inside of there. Fix an issue where the creatures would never poop. What the? I'm just gonna highlight that one. What is Sean Murray's obsession with animals? Like, he really made this realistic. I feel a little too realistic. I don't know why I zoomed into that. Like, my eyes instantly was like, poop. I feel like that's hilarious. I just didn't want to step in it, even if it is a patch note and it's digital. Anyways, as I get rid of that pixel scent, when I'm getting past that portion of the multi-tool and what they can aim, the custom makers and the displays and the analyzations of what they're getting into, oh, that's cool. The new multiplayer exploits, that will be the one. Let's see here. Creatures will no longer attack players who are in ships. I've had that, but they never win because it's ship. Improve the clarity in the display and the warning icons. Fix the biological horrors inside of the players and the death effects of the network players. Fix the incorrect levels being displayed on the analyzer visor. Added creatures markers to display their current mental states, so you can see if they're getting really pissed off at you or if they're really loving you. There's a new wild planet, like, oh my gosh. So this is just a lot of just like the basic features of what they've actually physically added directly inside of there. And I'll kind of like just stop a little bit and kind of go down because I'm wondering if there's any more like bug fixes, because I think, there we go, visual polishes. Sorry, I'll kind of go up just a little bit and pause, just so if anyone wants to see it, kind of read that situation. Items just appear in the input slot. That's totally tight. That is totally tight. Like, let's see here. Nada and Polo now use a larger range of animations. The improved visualizations of the starship and entertaining the beams. So a lot of the stuff I basically, what they kind of hinted up below, above, this is the dialed in version of every single little aspect of what they changed. I'm wondering if we're the last third thing that he meant, the quantity of life. The exosuit torch now can be turned into whatever time of day. That's kind of cool. When the pulse engines is engaged, the central ship, the screen now displays and clear messages in the fuel. Technology now can be installed in stages, allowing incomplete text to be placed in an inventory and individual components and added over time. There's a lot of their stuff is really cool, adding in the whole portion of the advanced laser, but they obviously talked about a lot of the treats that they had, so it seems like a lot of the weapons and everything has a really cool tree system that you can get into and upgrade and stuff like that. But a lot of this stuff I'm seeing is a lot of what we covered up above, with the adjustment of the timers and sentinels being some of them. I really wish they would have just kept the finite stuff on the bottom and then really looked up when does it launch on Steam. It should be live now. If not within the next hour or so, I believe. Just go, I would look at it and see if you can directly download it, because I mean, PC I would assume would have had it way before consoles, but if not, I would just give it a few hours. You should definitely be within that cusping point, I would assume. Let's see here, refine units, and then everyone that is joining, if you watch at the very beginning, you can definitely see what's going down. Nice, those new icons already being put to use by Blake over here. See here, adjust the frequency of rate of asteroids. Oh my glob, there's just so much. There's so much. When did their team ever get to sleep? They didn't. They just never did. Sean Murray just drinks coffee and lives. That's what he does. The inner, he has walked over 1,400 miles. His journey continues. Wait, did I miss something? Is that like an inside joke? Beans has walked, or is that like a robot that they named that walks around? But everyone, thank you so much for sticking through for this hour-long patch note event. I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you very much for staying tuned. That's going to be the patch notes for today. I'm gonna sum it up within about an hour. If you're new to the network and you've made it this far, cheers. Consider subscribing, and I might get my own very cool spaceship. But subscription humor aside, I would love to get a spaceship. I'm just saying, that'd be awesome if people subscribed and I got a spaceship. I mean, you don't know until you try it, right? But all humor aside, I appreciate your time. Time is one of the biggest aspects in this life that a lot of people overlook, but you spent some time with me, and I appreciate that as a creator. So cheers, everyone. Have a very nice day, and I will see you guys and gals in the future, and have a lot of fun time with the No Man's Sky. You might see MacGyver 7 flying around inside of that's me. I'll be kind of playing this game here and there, but since I do variety streaming, unfortunately, I don't end up getting to do a lot of what I want to do all the time. It's everywhere. But I know Mandine is coming out soon, and that's going to be what's going down with me. But thanks everyone, and if you are just joining in and you really wanted to get to the patch notes, you can always just join the beginning of this. If you hit the like, even if you don't want to subscribe, which is totally fine, you can just hit the like button, and then you can always reference the video later on and like follow up with the patch notes. But thanks everyone, thank you everyone so much. I need to get some rest in because I have to go to work in probably about 4 hours, my real work. Well, this is my real work, but my real day job I have to drive to, not just stay at home and have fun in my really cool stream lab. But cheers everyone, have a really nice day, and I'll see you everyone, and have great luck out there in this world, because we all inhabit it sometimes, which is pretty chill. But new places in the space station, yes there definitely is, Blake. Yes there definitely is, with people all around.